this politics, we're doing it with style. Yeah, Doug in exile. Super tall, he loves y'all. Welcome and have a ball. Yeah, Doug in exile. He's never voted for a Democrat. Leave your comments in the chat. Shouts out Quad Club, keep the lights on. He brings the news to you every day. Yeah, yeah. We so happy. Go tell your pappy. 6'8", a praying menace man. This is the only way. Super tall, he loves y'all. Welcome and have a ball. Yeah, Doug in exile.
And we're live this morning. I'm going to have a great day. How about you? Welcome to Doug in Exile. This is where the happy patriots are. That's all I have to say right now. It's our job to be as happy as possible. It's our moral responsibility to be happy that we're not Hakeem Jeffries, who was funded his campaign when he really needed a start, funded by Epstein. And we caught him red-handed. I'm going to show you how he is a complete duplicitous hypocrite with dead eyes. He has those zombie, just dead eyes, man, looking right through you like a reanimated corpse. Now, shout out to the chat. Hello, everybody. I'm clicking on you all. I see you guys here. Welcome, Lynn, Greg, Selena. Are you guys ready for some news? I've got so many tabs, all these different news things. This is how I clear my desk off in the morning. We got to get going. So thank you guys. God bless you all. Thank you for your prayers. Thank you for my audience is the kindest audience on the internet. I read your messages. I see them down in the chat. I read a lot of compliments. Sometimes you guys challenge me and go, I think you were wrong here. And many times you're right that I was wrong. I don't claim to get everything right, but I am an opinion guy. I'm here to give you my opinion. Mostly I'm here to give you facts. And then first I give you the facts and then I give you my opinion. And I'm kind of like you at home when you yell at the TV and you go, oh, that's a lie. Or, oh yeah, he got him. Oh yeah, that's true. I'm here to help cue you and make this place a welcome place for you to respond. The Patriot. It's not just me putting on a show. It's got to be you guys responding. You're part of a community. People who subscribe are part of the In Exile community. In fact, you can take your first name. I see Jim Spriggs. You're Jim in exile. Giovanna Thompson. You're Giovanna in exile. Jimmy Kopic. Jimmy. You're Jimmy in exile. Sunshine and Chaos Cooking. You're Sunshine and Chaos in exile. It's a club. And we're having a ball. Here's Hakeem Jeffries soiling his own pants.
In a bipartisan way.
Well, let me ask you about you, because the White House has been highlighting an email that I'm sure you've seen today that Jeffrey Epstein got in 2013. They say it shows you were soliciting money and dinner from an Epstein. The email was not sent from you. It was sent from a political consulting firm called Dynamic SRG that says, we are thrilled to announce we are working with Congressman Hakeem Jeffries. Shoot us an email or give us a call if you would like to get involved. What's your response? Do you recall that email being sent to Jeffrey Epstein from that team?
Yeah, of course, I have no recollection of the email. I've never had a conversation.
Who? Jeffrey who? First, Democrats are running it back to back. Jeffrey Epstein, up the yay. Jeffrey Epstein 24/7. Then she's all, he funded you through this. Really? These are sizable donations. These are huge mega millionaires. He gave away a lot of money. And suddenly Hakeem Jeffries is all, of course I have no recollection. Well, it's not that I'm calling him a liar. Maybe he doesn't have a recollection, but does that still make him guilty in some way if he took Epstein money? I want to know, is he going to pay it back? Are you going to publicly find out how much money he gave you and pay it back? Or are you going to keep it? And let's disclose exactly how much he gave you. Suddenly he's not all playing Columbo, the detective. No, Suddenly he's incredibly uncurious about Epstein and that's called guilt by association. When you know the guy or you've heard of the guy or the guy has given you money and now you're guilty because you almost touched him. And I'm only saying, is that a standard? What if I told you that Hakeem Jeffries already set up that standard? Let's watch this. This is from back in November 3rd, before we knew about that email that he was funded by Epstein. This is what he claims the standard is if you're at all near Jeffrey Epstein.
Released on a personal level, how does it feel to work with so many grown adults who have been obstructing the release of these Epstein files and, in fact, protecting pedophiles?
Well, the Trump administration and Mike Johnson are running a pedophile protection program.
There you go. Mike Johnson, I don't know how close he is to Epstein. I only know that Hakeem Jeffries is closer to Epstein. And he's saying by his standard that Mike Johnson is running a pedophile protection program. So what are you called when you're a pedophile money laundering, taking donations program? You and a whole lot of members of your party, certainly Plaskett. That's a standard he set up. So if we're going to play guilt by association, and the Bible demands that we hold ourselves to at least as high of a standard in judgment as we do an opponent. That is, if I have a plank in my eye, maybe I'm not so good at picking out the speck of dust from Speaker Mike Johnson's eye. By your standard that you judge others, you will be judged. Hakeem Jeffries, you ought to be judged by the standard that you slandered Trump and Mike Johnson with, claiming they were protecting a pedophile ring. I don't see Democrats lining up to give their money back to the Epstein estate or make like donations to some other cause that might help victims. None of it. Do you know why? You know why, chat. My people know why. They don't care. They don't care about victims. They don't care about the Epstein files. They don't care. Here's a letter. We showed it like 8 million days ago when it first broke. Dear Jeffrey, that's Democrat money raising people. Dear Jeffrey, we love you. This is in 2013. This is 5 years after he was first nailed for underage prostitution and trafficking. So they knew 5 years in, this is a normal conversation the Democrat Party has. This is Hakeem Jeffries is committed to electing Democrat majority in 2014 and is encouraging his friends to participate in this fundraising dinner. You should go. I'd like you to meet this guy. He's Brooklyn's Barack. He has a nickname. They're friendly with a guy who is already guilty. They don't care. They never care. So now my only question is, let's not run by their playbook and throw any heat at this Epstein. This Epstein stuff is complete BS. There's nothing there, nothing, other than that he funded Democrats. And that's not why the Democrats are bringing it up. We all know why they brought it up. Well, now that the Democrats brought it up, Trump is going to rub their face in it. And I'm going to show you that later, because first, I don't like spending too much time on Epstein because it's so gay. Here's, now we're going to do House Judiciary Committee with Jim Jordan. Breaking, Jim Jordan refers Jack Smith. We got Jack Smith, his former deputy, Thomas Windham, to the Department of Justice for prosecution. Now, with prosecution, we can get his emails and his contacts with Jack Smith. And all of Jack Smith's email contacts, hopefully with Merrick Garland, Fani Willis, Nathan Wade, possibly Alvin Bragg, certainly Letitia James, Kamala Harris. We need those emails. Read the full interview here. Congress of the United States, House of Representatives. This is to the Honorable Pam Bondi, the greatest attorney general ever, hardest working woman in politics. No AG has ever done more in the history of politics. If Pam Bondi isn't qualified and isn't doing enough, then there has never been someone who did more. So our standards need to be adjusted if we're accusing Pam Bondi of not being aggressive enough. Even Trump accuses her of not being aggressive enough. It's like, Trump, the woman is freaking working with her hair on fire on about 1,000 different fronts. And all of them are understaffed. Pam Bondi has said she's understaffed. Harmeet Dillon has said she's understaffed, who is Pam Bondi's assistant. She's understaffed. Janine Pirro said she's understaffed. Judge Janine said she could use 10,000 lawyers right now. That's 3. They're all understaffed. Kash Patel understaffed. Remember, they go into politics, and the first thing they do, they go into the FBI. Like this place, for over 50% of them, these FBI agents were hired by Christopher Wray. They're Democrat informants. Half of our crew, tens of thousands of government employees. And Trump has had a hard time legally firing them, which is why he kept threatening to do it under the shutdown bill. But there was a lot of legal shenanigans behind the scene on why they couldn't do that. A lot of rules, judges bucking against it. Dear Attorney General Pam Bondi, the Committee on the Judiciary writes to refer significant evidence that Thomas Wyndham, former senior assistant special counsel to Jack Smith, has, by his conduct during a deposition before the committee, obstructed a congressional investigation under 18 U.S.C. 1505, a witness, as relevant here, violate the law when he is corruptly obstructs or impedes or endeavors to influence, obstruct, or impede the due and proper exercise of the power of inquiry under which any inquiry or investigation is being had by either House or any committee or the Congress. Congress can perform its oversight function if witnesses who appear before its committees corruptly refuse to provide information that the law requires them to furnish. So this obstruction, bust him. DOJ, get him. I only want to shake this guy down. I want to bring good cop, bad cop in. Bad cop, mangles him, blah, 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 throws water on his head, starves him, puts the light in his eye. Then good cop comes in, and the other bad cop leaves, and the good cop, it's James Comer. He goes, now I'm a good guy. That guy, he's a maniac. I don't want him to do this to you. You just need to give me something. Give me something. He puts a big In-N-Out cheeseburger in front of him. Wouldn't you like an In-N-Out cheeseburger? You got to give me something. And then he gives him something. I want those emails. Okay. That's how it works. And I'm focusing on this only because the Plaskett thing, they don't have the votes to get her. We showed the video yesterday of her texting, and they tried to censure her. We're going to get into the conspiracy of the Republican that is in big trouble for not voting to get Plaskett. That could be a real, you guys want to talk conspiracy, there's one in our own party, of course. I don't know why our party keeps dividing like a bunch of imbeciles. They can't unite and get on Trump's program, not Marjorie Taylor Greene's program, not Alex Jones's program. Trump's program. He's the guy that took the bullet. He's the boss. He runs the agenda. I don't care that you disagree with the agenda, even when I don't like the agenda, because I want to let a bunch of 500,000 Chinese students go to college. I want to give H-1B visas to Indian, Chinese, and the smartest people around the world to come in and fix big tech. I'm against the agenda. He earned the right for me to concede to his leadership. Marjorie Taylor Greene has not earned that right. So where people disagree with the H-1B visas and Trump and all that, we have to go with him. He earned it. I'm backing up the American voters. That's what MAGA is. And that's what a representative government is. It doesn't mean Trump does everything you say. He represents your vote. He does his best for America, as best as he can guess. Here's Plaskett on CNN. Once again, squirming, lying. It's the Jeffrey Epstein who? Remember, Jeffrey Epstein who? They've known. When were her texts? When was that hearing? 2017 or 2019? That's at least 10 years after they knew what Jeffrey Epstein was. They knew he was AIDS. They knew he was hepatitis in human form. And she's texting him, trying to get stuff against Trump in a congressional hearing, and the vote to censure her failed.
Believe that Jeffrey Epstein had information and I was going to get information to get at the truth.
From your buddy, the pedo. But Ron Johnson and Trump are hiding the trafficking ring, right?
Having
no
a real
regret.
friendship with him is not something that I would deem to have. And so I'm just looking forward. I'm moving forward. And I think that
Moving forward, nothing to see here. Keep going, everybody.
that's what we as American people should do, is move forward. If individuals...
We move forward. Let's get off this. We wanted to move forward from Epstein like 6 months ago. Who is it that kept us from moving forward? Democrat. Virgin Islands. Virgin Islands, which would be the opposite of Epstein Island.
are not involved in illegal activity, extending his criminal enterprise or his financial enterprise or all of those things. I think that we need to look at what people are doing moving forward.
Wait, let me just try to understand that. What is that point? Because at the time he was a known sex offender and it had been detailed all the sexual abuse.
There are a lot of...
Oh, CNN beats her with the hammer. Wait, what do you mean by that? Because at the time it was known what he did. So now she's going, well, I don't want to be his friend. Look, no one wants to be his friend now. First of all, he's dead. It would smell bad.
People who have done a lot of crimes, and as a prosecutor, you get information from people where you can. I believe...
Yeah, okay. So the old, sometimes you got to break some eggs to make an omelet. Meanwhile, this is a good one right here. Okay. Carlos Takuros, bombshell. Council of American Islamic Relations has threatened Texas with a massive lawfare lawsuit to stop the state from designating the Muslim Brotherhood and CARE. These are the ones that are funding. We have proof in just the next slide is coming up, proof that they were funding agitators against Jews, designating Muslim and CARE as terrorist groups, terror groups, and preventing them from acquiring land. So they're going to sue. Now they're going to this land is your land. This land is my land. But Texas is Allah's. So screw you, Abbott. Muhammad owns you. Put your woman in a burqa. Okay. And then Greg Abbott responds, that's great. Bring it. The lawsuits will open the doors to all of their financial transactions. That's what they call disclosure in lawsuits, where you have to give each other disclosure of where your sources are. And all the money is coming from Qatar. Mark Levin calls Tucker Carlson Qatarlson because Tucker Carlson's channel allegedly, I've looked at the paperwork on this, was massively funded by Qatar. I just want to know, how do I get that Qatar money? And suddenly Qatar, who are anti-Semites and hate Jews, suddenly all of these influencers that are taking money are anti-Israel and Hamas defenders. Okay. The lawsuits will open the doors to all of their financial transactions and funding to all of their dealings and misdeeds. The Attorney General will have a heyday. Pam Bondi's up for it, don't you guys think? Aren't you proud of her good work? Pam Bondi would dismantle them with their financial disclosures. Bring it out. I want this screaming lunatic in the terrorist, what is that, a kafila, the head wrap. It was so funny because I got a personal story on those head wraps. The beloved Miss Tenaple got one of these. She works for Graceworks, that's where they, not works there, but she volunteers, where they bring, people make clothing donations and they sell it, and then they can bring food to the poor. And she got one of these kafilas because she thought it was really cute. So she wore it and took a picture of herself and put it on Facebook. This is like 4 years ago, guys. And all of her friends are going, I never knew you were pro-Palestinian. The beloved Miss Tenaple would never. She would never do that, but she put on one of the most radical, politically divisive head coverings you could. And all our liberal friends are going, yay. And our conservatives are going, what are you doing? So she took it off and she went out. We have a fire pit in the backyard and she burned it. That's my favorite story. I just thought it was so cute because she did look real pretty in it. Okay. Here's more. Breaking CARE. Now, this is the one that Trump and Abbott want to designate as a terrorist group. CARE has been sending $1,000 checks to riotous students for causing mayhem on college campuses against Jewish students, terrorizing them. Just how many other organizations were directly funding the student-led chaos? How many? Muslim group CARE cutting $1,000 checks for anti-Israel agitators who've been disciplined by colleges. So if the college comes after you, they'll pay you. They'll go, oh, we'll pay you for taking a hit for the terrorist team. Anti-Israel agitators who spread disruption at U.S. colleges. You guys happy that this is at your big universities, big expensive universities? They're paying like $75,000 a year to have their kids learn stuff that goes against their parents' values. When dad goes out, works all day, he's driving truck, he's at some oil rig for 35 years, and then his kids learn to hate their dad, hate God, and hate America. U.S. colleges were punished by authorities. They were awarded for $1,000 by a Muslim nonprofit. The Post has now learned. Cash for hate is the headline at the New York Post. Now, I loop all this together, guys, because what I'm looking at is what is the unifying feature across all of America in MAGA? Where's culture going? What's hot in the news right now? So the division with Tucker Carlson and, you know, all of the division with Nick Fuentes and Mark Levin and Megyn Kelly and Charlie Kirk and Candace Owens. And these are kind of the periphery of the politics. But now I'm seeing online people saying, look, if the Republican Party is going to be soft on all this Nazi stuff, I'm out. And I'm telling you, the normal Republican Party is not pro-racism, slavery, anything, okay? It's being exaggerated because Nick Fuentes is a performance artist who runs around saying, I love Hitler, and you shouldn't read the Bible, and women are to be our slaves. He doesn't believe this stuff. I'm not going to defend him because he's a scumbag, but I'm telling you, he does not believe that Hitler was a great guy, and he says it. Why? Because it gets my generation mad, and he gets attention, clicks, and money, and that's it. That's why. You don't need a bigger explanation than that. The guy is not a religious Nazi. He doesn't believe you should own women. He also doesn't believe you shouldn't read the Bible, but he's evil. It's like, and the reason why the youth are doing this kind of anarchy is because they believe the system has let them down and they have nothing they can do to get a job, get a house. They can't afford a house. They've inherited all this debt. They're going to pay off all of our debt. So we can complain about them, but they're going, look, this system is broken and we're furious. So how about I love Hitler? They don't mean it. What they mean is they have nothing to lose, and that the previous generations have failed them. Our churches have failed them. We have feminized the church and taught them, you know, about the evil male gaze. We called them all racist. We preferred hiring blacks and hiring gays and hiring women regardless of their merit. We said, if you're white and you're male and you're a Christian, you get nothing. You get no freebies. You get no goodies. You get nothing. In fact, you're called evil. You're called privileged. So though you get nothing, you're the one with all the privileges. So that's in defense of the youth. I'm not saying that therefore you go and follow a lunatic like Fuentes. But Fuentes is just throwing a fist in the air and screaming, saying, tear all this system down because you're going to make me be sacred about Hitler and about race and about women. And I'm not going to be sacred because you guys screwed it into the ground. Our politics, people who complain about Republicans for the last 20 years, what are they complaining about? Republicans don't fight. We're weak. And the youth need a man to stand up and fight. And I'm sorry, but Paul Ryan is not a man. Lindsey Graham is not a man. Those are not men. Marjorie Taylor Greene spewing off in madness land. Steve Bannon, Alex Jones, I'm naming names. And I love, believe me, guys, I consume these people and get lots of facts from them. But the idea that we can't unite and put together an army of patriots to save this country and we're distracted by a tabloid like Epstein. And then we're going off on the Jews. I know the problem. It's Israel. We're funding all these wars in Israel. That's, I'm sorry, that's dumb people. Watch this. Does this look like, hey, look, breaking, Christian protesters are being surrounded by Muslims in Dearborn, Michigan, who are screaming, Allahu Akbar. We never should have allowed it to get to this point. Send them back. Yeah, who allowed it to get to this point? Who allowed this? It's not the 18-year-old kids listening to Nick Fuentes, a lunatic. It's all the adults of the last 20 years that said, we can't judge Islam. If we allow Christianity and Judaism to be here, we have to allow Islam here. Though Sharia law undermines the Constitution. We did this. Whole cities completely taken over. 48 new mosques in Texas alone in the last 2 years. And we're off attacking Israel like a bunch of cowards because we know who the real enemy is. And we're terrified of these guys. You know why? Because they're masculine, they're manly, and they're terrifying. Watch this Christian student berated.
I believe they're going to cancel the 6:30 City Hall meeting because everybody's chimping the fuck out. They're chimping the fuck out. I don't have bananas. Chill out. I don't have bananas.
Okay, so that guy on the left was the Christian.
This is not America. This is an insurgency. They are taking over our country. They're taking over our country. They want us all dead. Let's go next.
Wow, what's happening right now? People are pushing.
Well, look at all these masked people. That's two guys in a mob. I can't play the rest of the clip because they're cussing so bad. Let me turn the volume down here. But this is he's Christian too. So look, all these Muslims, I want you to show me one clip in America. Alex Jones, Marjorie Taylor Greene, Candace Owens, any conspiracy theorist that tells me the Jews are the problem. The Rockefellers, we heard them all. The Bilderbergers, we heard all this stupid Illuminati conspiracy garbage. Show me one clip of Jews doing this to Christians in America. Show me one clip of Jews screaming at 3 Christians, a mob of 100 Jews screaming at Christians in America. You won't find it. You'll find it in Israel, by the way, but you won't find it here. So I'm saying here, right now, we have a problem. And those are not Jews. Jews don't do that. CARE funds this at $1,000 a head. They're getting paid $1,000 a head with their dark money. And that's what Abbott is saying. Bring your lawsuit against us, you terrorist organization, because we'll get your emails, we'll get your funding, and we will dry you up, and we'll make it illegal for you to own land here. It's starting to sound Old Testament if you're paying attention. No one else will give you this news, guys. They're too busy clickbaiting you. This is the real fight for the American soul. This is the real philosophical fight that we have. The Jews are tiny and shrinking. Muslim mosques are blowing up around the country. I mean, multiplying around the country. And I don't have a problem with the Arab people. This is not about a skin color or a DNA, because there's plenty of Arab Christians, and God bless you, you're my brother. I would lay my life down. This is about a different culture and a different religion that the founders were not, they were not coming in the name of Muhammad. Here's Trump on international affairs. Trump, who's done more in the Middle East to bring peace to the Middle East than any other president in my lifetime.
This is one of the areas in which Donald Trump is performing significantly better than he was in term one. One of his best issues relative to term one. What are we talking about? Approve of Trump on foreign policy at this point in term one. Look, Donald Trump was just at a 35% approval rating, up like a rocket. We're talking about 43% now. That's an 8-point rise. On the net approval rating, we're talking about a double-digit rise. The American people like much more of what they're seeing from Donald Trump in foreign policy in term two than they did in term number one.
So look at that. Remember, all the smart elites said part of why we can't elect Trump and we have to put a Democrat back in the White House is to heal our reputation around the world. The Democrats rolled that one out on every Republican, including against George Bush. I saw them do it. They go, we have to heal our reputation around the world because these Republicans are ignorant and everyone hates us because of Trump. And Trump gets in office, and now America says he's the best foreign policy president. Now, foreign policy is all the international studies at Harvard. All the smart people who are all snobs go, Trump, you know, he builds buildings. He's a tacky real estate agent, fraud in New York. He knows nothing of foreign policy. Trump is better at foreign policy than any other president in my lifetime. Do you know why? It's because the world did not need another philosopher king like Barack Obama to come in and look down on the world. Let me tell y'all what to think. The king philosopher has come. The new Martin Luther King, he took on that way of talking like Martin Luther King up here in this registry and dressed in a Rat Pack suit to look like Sammy Davis Jr., look like someone cool. I'm too cool for this room, but all the academics love me. Harvard, Yale. I speak your language, you people. Trump saving the world. Now we're going to the Plaskett thing. Just in. Rep. Nancy Mace, Republican, South Carolina, will be moving to censure Rep. Corey Mills, Republican, Florida, today. Here's Corey Mills. I like this guy, but he's a traitor to the Republican Party. Why? Several Republican members are livid over alleged backroom deals that killed the censures of Ilhan Omar and Stacey Plaskett, who was texting to Epstein during the hearing in order to protect Mills from investigation. So Corey Mills was going to be investigated, and they cut a backroom deal with the Democrats and said, we'll give you enough votes to not censure Plaskett if you don't investigate Corey Mills. And they shook the hand. They said, yes, sir. And they did the deal with the devil. Republicans did. And now Nancy Mace is mad. Good girl helping our side. Here's Nancy Mace on Twitter. We are urging Speaker Mike Johnson, step up, Speaker. Show some fangs. Unless you're part of the deal, then it's time to confess. Speaker Mike Johnson to strip Rep. Corey Mills of his committee assignments. That's the only punishment you really can do to a House of Representatives person, is strip them of their assignments. It's like, boo-hoo, we're going to give you less work. But they get less pay, less all that. Rep. Mills's record is tainted by allegations of stolen valor, domestic abuse, and arms deals with the U.S. government and foreign nations while serving in Congress. Those are serious allegations. And this is more Republican infighting. You guys know. Come on, we got to unite. But you know what? A scumbag's a scumbag. So those are the two brackets. It's number one, MAGA has to unite to save the world. And the other side of the bracket is You got to get a backstabbing scumbag out. Okay. Speaker Mike Johnson, we write this with concern. Regarding the fitness of one of our colleagues, Mr. Corey Mills of Florida's 7th Congressional District, to serve on the Committee on Armed Services and the Committee of Foreign Affairs. Okay, so then she goes down all of the ways that he's guilty. So I guess what I'm trying to say is that politics are so confusing and so back and forth and so nuanced. It's not as simple as my side's good, your side bad. That guy's good, that guy's bad. That gal's bad. Here's Marjorie Taylor Greene agreeing with Nancy Mace. Yesterday after 5, because I threw a lot of shade at Marjorie Taylor Greene yesterday, so here she is doing yeoman's work. Yesterday, after 5 ridiculous months of fighting the White House and the Speaker, Mike Johnson, to get Congress to finally vote for the Epstein files. Oh, you're a real hero. A deal was made to stop the censure of Stacey Plaskett. So though Marjorie Taylor Greene is distracting on the Epstein files, she's right on target against Plaskett. A Democrat delegate from the territory of U.S. Virgin Islands, Plaskett, which would have also kicked her off of the House Permanent Select Committee on Intelligence that oversees U.S. intelligence activities, for texting with Epstein during an oversight committee hearing in 2019. Plaskett texted with Epstein as he advised her on questions. What was the deal that was made? So Marjorie Taylor Greene bringing us the news. 3 Republicans crossed the aisle and voted with Democrats to stop the Plaskett censure resolution in a swap so that Democrats would not bring up the Corey Mills censure resolution for alleged physical assaults on women and threatening to release pornography on an ex-girlfriend. So he has porn of an ex-girlfriend. There's your Republican Party, guys. And ethics violations and questionable military record. This guy's a scuzzball, allegedly. I'm sure he's a great guy. You, the American people, should be outraged by this against both parties. And you should be asking many questions. So now Margie's getting some cover from this. Whoa, super chat. Kenny Bates, $200. I'm taking Love Miss Tenaple out to dinner on you. Thank you, my brother. Love you guys. Kenny Bates, $200 super chat. Judaism is based on religious, community, and family love. This demonic matrix we're living is a cosmic battle between good and evil. Free choice is one of the rules. Choose wisely. Well said, Kenny. I'm going to get to more of the Judaism stuff at the very end of the show. I'm going to go into anti-Semitism and all that stuff. Okay. I think we will, I promise you, we will learn something brilliant and wonderful because I learned something. Those are powerful, influential committees, and she can't even vote on the House floor. And Corey Mills serves on the House Armed Services. So why did both sides work together to stop Plaskett and Mills' censure above last night in order to protect both Plaskett and Corey Mills? Members of Congress like me never, ever receive such protection, and never will. It's because when she was threatened to be stripped of hers for saying impeach Joe Biden, no one came to her rescue because Marjorie Taylor Greene is an independent. Instead of working to pass legislation that supports policies you voted for passing our appropriation bills and solving real crisis issues like healthcare, Congress is trapped in the quicksand of the swamp with no intention of getting out. Well, I think Marjorie Taylor Greene is in her own personal swamp also. Now, former U.S. Secretary, Treasury under Bill Clinton, Larry Summers, we did a little video on him, opens his class at Harvard by acknowledging that he was in the Epstein files. This is him stepping down from his Harvard assignment.
Some of you will have seen my statement of regret, expressing my shame with respect to what I did in communication with Mr. Epstein.
So this is a guy who got caught. He's not sorry he got caught. He'd been doing it sitting there at Harvard, skid marking their reputation for all these years. He doesn't care. He was also on the board of ChatGTP, Sam Altman and all his buddies. Breaking: former U.S. Treasury Secretary Larry Summer resigns from OpenAI. I'm sorry, not ChatGPT. It was OpenAI, is Altman. From OpenAI board after release of Epstein emails per the Associated Press. So that's how bad his emails was. But Trump knew about this. We knew about him for 10 years. This isn't new information. Just the actual specifics of the emails came out, and they weren't as bad as you think they are, but they're bad enough to put him in buddies with Epstein, and so he got to go. So he lost his OpenAI board member and Harvard teaching, and boohoo. He's still rich. He's still powerful. He's led the life of a billionaire playboy, and he needs to go to prison. Wait, there's healing. Caroline Leavitt, this is the universe is healing. 130 congressional Democrats side with trans athletes. That's males presenting as women. The pro-woman party, guys, women's health care. We're the women's party. We're feminists, siding with biological men to beat the living daylights out of female athletes at the Olympics, in boxing, wrestling, powerlifting. You're going to put a biological male presenting as a female against a woman? That's Democrats. Never put an X next to a Democrat. Do you want your daughters injured in sports, punched, blasted in the face by a biological male athlete? 130 congressional Democrats. These aren't just weird, screwy side radical Democrats that you meet on the street of Berkeley or in a bathhouse. These are mainstream people that got elected and represent our highest form of government. 13 Democrats side with trans athletes over women in major Supreme Court cases. Lunatics, okay. Rep. James Comer. I've just issued subpoenas to J.P. Morgan and Deutsche Bank for Jeffrey Epstein's financial records. Yeah, Democrats, let's do the Jeffrey Epstein thing and find out exactly who he has paid now that we know he is entirely a Democrat donor. Let's shake out every institution. How much money did he give to Barack Obama? How much money did he give to the Clinton Foundation? How much money did he give to CARE? How much money did he give to USAID? How much money did he give to all of the environmentalist movements and scams? How much money did he give to the Biden campaign? This is going to be fun now. We get this information because other countries will actually comply. Deutsche Bank especially will comply. JP Morgan, with money going all around the world, they'll comply. Get him. I want all of his financial records, every dime that's gone through that greasy man's hands. Let's get him and find out. Suddenly the Democrats are going to be Jeffrey who? We don't want, this isn't what we were looking for. This is about holding Democrats to the standard they put on Trump. If you're willing to go with the worst accusation against Trump and Mike Johnson saying they're covering up a pedo ring, then let's see exactly who's funding what pedo ring. I'm also requesting U.S. Virgin Islands AG Gordon Ria to provide documents to further GOP oversight's review of federal government's investigation of Epstein, the Virgin Islands, where Plaskett is from. So I believe he's doing a fishing expedition on finding out exactly how deep their friendship goes. Go, Comer. Good work, my man. You guys catching it yet? Are you catching? Other channels aren't doing, I don't know why they won't cover the news. This is normal news. I don't get it. It's like they're trying to cover things up. Normal news. Rep. Jasmine Crockett, Democrat of Texas, actually attacked the EPA, the Environmental Protection Agency, head Lee Zeldin, who got stabbed by a lunatic when he ran as a Republican in New York, for receiving, well, of course, a Democrat stabbed him. EPA head Lee Zeldin for receiving money from Jeffrey Epstein. What? The problem was it was a different Jeffrey Epstein. It was a New York doctor. She's like, all you Jews, you all the same to me. Epstein, Frankenstein, Einstein, you're all the same. You all look the same to me. So he got money from Jeffrey Epstein. He did. It's a New York doctor. Zeldin responded, oh yeah, this is going to be good. Yes, Jasmine Crockett, you big dummy. A physician named Dr. Jeffrey Epstein, who is a totally different person than the other Jeffrey Epstein, you dolt, donated to a prior campaign of mine. No freaking relation, you genius, all caps, 3 exclamation points. Oh. Here's Jasmine Crockett.
Folks who also took money from somebody named Jeffrey Epstein, as I had my team dig in very quickly.
Oh, your team, your genius team.
Mitt Romney, the NRCC, Lee Zeldin, George Bush.
Lee Zeldin got money from Dr. Can you imagine being a doctor? You go through 7 years of med school and your name happens to be Jeffrey Epstein. He's like, I went through 7 years of med school. And now my name, no one wants to go to Dr. Jeffrey Epstein. Here's my underage daughter. Yeah, it'd be worse if he was a gynecologist, or worse, a proctologist. Here, Doc Jeffrey Epstein, my kids, I dropped my kids off at Jeffrey Epstein. He's a doctor. And Jasmine Crockett is so dumb. You know, just throw the words around, Jasmine. Facts, she knows facts don't matter. MSNBC is probably already retracting the headline going, holy cow, we got the wrong guy. Now here's, oh man. Things aren't bad enough, guys. I have to punish you with the swamp, because it's time for Candace. Oh, let's go to Planet Candace with the CIA mug she's drinking out of. CIA mug. It's the Illuminati. Candace Owens.
For you today, it was after the public execution of sitting President JFK in 1963 that the CIA established Operation Mockingbird. Deep state assassinations require deep state solutions. They spent an offensive amount of money to control the press and to control the narrative, to put an end to the public asking common sense questions about what actually transpired on that fateful day in Dallas. To put it simply, the deep state declared a psychological warfare campaign on the people.
It didn't work on me. Didn't work on me. Do not care. 1 shooter, 2 shooter on a hill, Sirhan, don't care. Jack Ruby, don't care. Do not care. Bay of Pigs, insider this. He was a communist, that. Don't care. If Kamala Harris won, every illegal would still be here. That southern border would be open. That's what I care about. There's 300,000 missing children right now in some greasy guy's basement. That's what I care about right now. Keeping the Supreme Court 9 people instead of the Democrats packing it to 12. That's what I care about right now. Defending the Constitution with my life if I have to. Defending the Constitution from that Supreme Court when the Democrats pack it out to 15 people and have them rewrite every single right you have will be changed and turned into woke DEI, Marxist BS. Your country is done. We'll never recover from that. That's what I'm worried about. Not the JFK assassination from 1963. By the way, he also died on the same day as Aldous Huxley and C.S. Lewis. I care more about C.S. Lewis's death than JFK. A billionaire imbecile that everyone called some kind of, it's called our, king. They're like our royal family, King Arthur, Camelot, bull caca. We now know that JFK grabbed one of his assistants, who was a virgin, and laid her out on the Lincoln bedroom while Jackie O was in the other room. And he whored her out to people that came to the White House. That's a fact. That's according to the testimony of the girl after she grew up. Creepy, weirdo, pervert. Don't care. 1 shooter, 2 shooter, 3 shooters, the Jews, the Illuminati. We didn't go to the moon. I don't care. $5 super chat. How is the Trump administration going to handle Islam in the U.S.? Yeah, that is a tough one. We the ones. I don't know, but I know this girl is trying to get us on the Jews instead of on Islam.
In fact, their soldiers were the journalists and the writers. Their goal, obviously, to get people to just stop asking questions, to almost criminalize asking questions via methods of gaslighting.
Wait. Was it criminalized to ask questions about the 2 shooters? Is that why it's the most popular conspiracy in the entire world? Did people get thrown in jail? Not one person has been prosecuted for asking questions about JFK. Not one. Nobody went to jail for saying 9/11 was an inside job either. No one went to jail for saying we didn't go to the moon. No one did. No one went to the jail for the Protocols of the Elders of Zion, for claiming that the Jews were vampires and stole children of their enemies. No one went to jail. No one's gone to jail, Candace. We have free speech, you dummy. I don't know what you're trying to create here, but whatever you're creating, the facts don't bear it out.
Fast forward to 2025, and they're running the exact same playbook.
Oh,
Charlie Kirk was assassinated in broad daylight.
Yes,
and
he was.
They immediately deployed their troops to criminalize asking questions.
It's not criminal to ask questions about Charlie Kirk's murder, but it is stupid to blame it on the Jews or to say that the Christians inside. Now she says it's Egypt. She changed her story like 5 times when one doesn't stick. She only knows there's a conspiracy. She doesn't know who did it. She only knows it wasn't what everyone thinks it is, because that gets more clicks if you have the secret information. Guys, I got the inside scoop. Candace Owens, an influencer, is closer to Charlie Kirk than his wife, than his pastor, than his security guards, the security team that follows him around everywhere. Candace Owens knows. Candace, $5 super chat, Bishop, Cornelius Johnson. Candace has been purchased by demon rats, and the conspiracy she spread, she lost her way. I'm praying for her. Is Qatar paying her, I wonder? Is CARE giving her $1,000 a tweet?
What are you supposed to take from the everyone? You know what I mean?
I think the implication was dramatic, and then I think a lot of people reading the tweets would assume that she meant Erica Kirk.
Either Erica Kirk is evil and was in on it, or Candace Owens is an evil.
I think that what Candace Owens is doing right now is evil. It is evil what she was doing right now.
Post Charlie, there was so much unity, so much excitement, so much resurgence in faith and newfound interest in faith, and that now there is discord, so many distractions, and that is just like Satan, who comes to steal, kill, and destroy. He is called the great accuser. He is the sower of discord, the author of confusion.
That's Ellie Beth Stuckey, whom I love, and Ben Shapiro, whom I love. I love these people. And Candace Owens, although it is very hard to run Allie Beth Stuckey in fast motion and understand one word she's saying, that girl can talk.
The reason I haven't waited on things is I'm an eyewitness to events, and they said, don't comment on things because anything you say can mess that up. I don't want to mess up any trial for the person who did this.
That's 1,000% right. But Candace Owens is well within her rights to suggest certain things and all this, and she has the right to free speech and all that. That's fine. She's right to ask questions.
True.
I just think
so. If Pastor Frank Turek, who is there on the stage with Charlie Kirk when he took a bullet in the neck, and Frank Turek is a great Christian man, he's not saying she should be arrested. So it's not illegal. He's saying she has a right to speak. The exact opposite of what Candace Owens just said 30 seconds ago.
I think it is hurtful and not helpful when you cross a line to strongly suggest somebody's guilty of something for which you have no evidence.
Fact.
Challenge accepted, Frank Turek. Let's go Max today.
Oh, tough girl. Challenge accepted. Let's go Max. Oh no, she's going to get out the red yarn and start connecting the dots. Here's Israel. Here's Harvey Weinstein. Here we go. The Rothschilds. The number 23 pyramids with an eye on them. Aliens built the pyramids. Okay. This is going to be great. Lunatic. Okay, here's and now this is on. Now I told you guys I would break down anti-Semitism for, because there is such a thing as racism and anti-Semitism, and there's also you're allowed to criticize Israel. So here's Pastor Toby Sumter, and I thought this is a very good guideline for my people. If you guys want wisdom on this, he gives 7 points on what is not anti-Semitism and 7 points on what is anti-Semitism, specifically from a Christian perspective of people who believe the Bible. Here's number 1. It is not anti-Semitic to teach and preach that Jews, like all men, are utterly lost without faith in Jesus Christ of Nazareth. Some Jews will accuse you of that. That is not anti-Semitism. Number 2, it is not anti-Semitic to acknowledge and condemn the Jewish rejection of Jesus Christ and the subsequent persecution of Christians in the New Testament. Number 3, it is not anti-Semitic to understand the destruction of the temple in 70 AD is a historical judgment of the Jewish people for their rejection of Jesus Christ as the Messiah. That's pretty radical. Number 4, it is therefore not anti-Semitic to question how successful a modern Jewish state today will be that still, as a matter of principle, rejects Jesus of Nazareth as the Messiah. Number 5, it is not anti-Semitic to disagree with Israel foreign policy, disagree with American decisions to support various Israeli policies, or for strategic reasons, believe our nation should not be so uniquely aligned. So that's where I would put Tucker Carlson and Candace Owens are well within this layer of argument that it's not anti-Semitic. They may be anti-Semitic for other reasons, but this isn't one of them, saying we're too close to Israel. And I don't think we're too close to Israel. I think they're a great ally, and I'm happy to support them. Okay. Number 6, it is not anti-Semitic to believe that the conscious rejection of Jesus as the Messiah is a unique sin and evil that has cultural and conventional ramifications. Number 7, it is not anti-Semitic to note that an uncanny number of Jews have embraced the perpetuated various social and political evils. Now, what is anti-Semitism? Here's the 7. The 6, we don't want to do these, guys. It is anti-Semitic to stubbornly refuse to acknowledge the uncanny number of Jews who have made breakthroughs in science, technology, and medicine, and have done remarkably good things for the human race. If you can't acknowledge that, you might just be an anti-Semite. Now I'm going Jeff Foxworthy on you guys. You might be an anti-Semite to consider the Jews as a race to be uniquely malevolent, that is uniquely responsible for the evils done in the world. Number 3, it is anti-Semitic to refuse to allow Jews the basic human right of self-preservation, self-determination as a people and a nation, and the right of self-defense. Number 4, it is and this is stuff that Fuentes and some of Tucker Carlson, some of all these people do support many of these. Number 4, it is anti-Semitic to refuse to acknowledge certain social, cultural, and political commonalities that will often exist between Jews and Christians who take the Old Testament seriously. So acknowledge our social and customary and political commonalities. It is anti-Semitic to refuse any assistance or allowance with Israel in those areas of common conviction solely based on the fact that they are Jews. Number 6, it is anti-Semitic to refuse to acknowledge that Jews are in any way uniquely poised to receive the gospel because of their Old Testament heritage, or as natural branches cut off from the Old Covenant that may be more easily grafted back into the New Covenant in Christ. He says it is anti-Semitic to say that, and I might even believe that. that the Jews are uniquely the natural branches to go back in. That is, people are divided on that. Pastor John MacArthur, who just passed away, believes this. It's a bit leaning toward what's called dispensationalism. And Toby Sumter, the pastor that wrote this, is simply not a dispensationalist. That is, they believe that the Jewish, those laws, those traditions, the promises of Abraham were fulfilled entirely in Christ. And any further stuff with the Jews, they're just like every other person. So, and you know, I love and admire Pastor Toby, so I'd have to read and study up on this some more. But just so you know, there is division in the Christian church over this issue. So you're well within, to me, when two holy men who love the Bible disagree on something, like one will say the Jews are the natural branches and they're going to come back in, and another one says, no, that's all over and done with, but they're both holy men following the word. It actually gives me the leeway for you to say, well, you can pick either one. Do your own study. I've seen like R.C. Sproul debate, you know, Bonson or John MacArthur on infant baptism. And to me, when one guy's saying yes, infant baptism, the other one's going no infant baptism, and they're both holy men who love the scripture, I go, cool, I can pick either one. Okay, that's a terrible attitude to have, but that's my attitude. And on that happy note, we have had a great show together. I'm so happy you guys spent this time with me. We're all caught up. We did a little teaching. We did a little comedy with Candace Owens. We revealed Hakeem Jeffries took money from Jeffrey Epstein and the Democrats don't care, which is their brand. And I intend to continue to underline that for a long, long time. Don't forget to subscribe, guys. I would love to have you in the family if you're not in yet. I'm Doug in Exile.